Today on Sugar Spud Run, I'll be showing you how to make an easy homemade pizza dough. Making my own pizza dough always used to intimidate me. So when I decided that I wanted to share a recipe with you guys, I wanted to make sure that it was something very easy and something that could be made with ingredients you probably already have in your pantry. This is that pizza dough recipe. And while you can use a stand mixer for this recipe, today I'm going to show you how I make it in just one bowl by hand. We're going to start with the flour. You can use either all-purpose flour or bread flour for this recipe. I usually use all-purpose flour because that's just what I happen to have on hand, but bread flour also works especially well and it will give you a nice crispier exterior. This recipe calls for 2 to 2 1/3 cups of flour, but we're going to start with just 1 cup of flour and add that to a large bowl. Next, we'll add 1 packet or 2 1/4 teaspoons of instant yeast, 1 1/2 teaspoons of granulated sugar, and 3/4 teaspoon of salt. Now, today's recipe is a very basic, standard pizza dough, but if you want to spice things up a little bit and add a little extra flavor, you can add a little bit of garlic powder or maybe some dried basil. Today, I'm just going to add a dash of garlic powder. Now we'll use a wooden spoon to stir everything together really well. And then we'll add 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. Now we'll add 3/4 cup of warm water. Ideally, you want your water to be between 105 and 115 degrees Fahrenheit. You don't want it to be too hot or it could kill your yeast. Alright, now stir the water into the dry ingredients until everything is nice and smooth. And now we'll add the remaining 1 to 1 1/3 cups of flour. We'll add this gradually to the mixture, stirring with our wooden spoon until everything is combined and the dough is cohesive and pulling away from the sides of the bowl as you stir. Now, if your dough is still too sticky, even after you've added all of the flour that the recipe calls for, you can add additional flour. I would start by adding just a tablespoon at a time. What you're looking for is a dough that is elastic and smooth, and as you're stirring it, it should be pulling away from the sides of the bowl. Alright, now grab a clean, large bowl, and we're going to drizzle this with olive oil, and generously brush the sides with a pastry brush. Place your pizza dough in the bowl and turn it so that the surface of the dough is completely coated by the olive oil. Now cover the bowl with plastic wrap and set it in a warm place to rise for about 30 minutes or until the dough is doubled in size. My house is usually pretty cold, so what I like to do is preheat my oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit, which is the temperature that I use to bake pizza, and then just set the bowl with the dough on top of the stove because it's usually nice and warm there without being too hot. Once your dough is doubled in size, use your hands to gently deflate it and transfer it to a lightly floured surface. Use your hands to knead the dough several times on your surface, and then use a rolling pin or use your hands to form the dough into a 12-inch circle. Now we'll transfer our dough to a parchment paper lined pizza pan. And then you can either fold over the edges of the dough or lightly pinch them to form your crust. And we'll generously drizzle some more olive oil over the surface of the pizza and use a pastry brush to brush it evenly over the surface of your pizza dough. Now use a fork to pierce holes in the center of the pizza dough. This will help prevent any bubbles from forming while the pizza bakes. Alright, now your pizza dough is ready to go. You can add any pizza toppings you like at this point. I'm just going to make a basic cheese pizza by adding some marinara sauce and mozzarella cheese. To finish off the pizza, you'll want to bake it in a 425 degree Fahrenheit oven for about 13 to 15 minutes. What you're looking for is the cheese to be melty and maybe even lightly golden brown. Once it's finished, allow your pizza to cool several minutes and then slice and serve. And that is how easy it is to make your own pizza dough at home completely from scratch. I really hope you guys will try out this super easy and super delicious recipe. And please, if you do try it out, let me know what you think. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.